Russia's invasion of Ukraine shocked many, and still some core reasons remain unknown or neglected by the overwhelming media reports. Absolutely no reason could justify a full-fledged war against a sovereign nation. But still, in this case, you can't blame Moscow for everything. Why Russia invaded Ukraine and what it really wants? Let's have a brief look. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is considered to be the biggest military mobilization in Europe since World War II. Here we are not going to talk about the consequences of this war or its status, which have already been studied. This video instead focuses on the reasons why Ukraine is so important for Russia and why Moscow accepted so many costs to invade Kyiv. First of all, most of the Ukrainians, based on many studies, around 70% are Slavic, the same root as Russians. But this is not the only mutual history they have. Actually, Kyiv was the first center for an Slavic rule far before Moscow gained power and fame. So this city for Russians is of historical origin value. The Slavic majority and Russian-speaking population of Ukraine are mostly living in eastern and southern regions of this country. So let's see how Russians see the Ukrainian issue. In their opinion, Ukraine is not a completely different and distinct country, for example, like Belarus. Ukraine is the younger brother for them, actually the most important family member they ever had. They say, this brother is now trying to betray the family, getting closer to the biggest enemy, and this is the punishment for that. Let's say Ukrainians prefer to join Western blocs rather than staying close to their bigger brother, and they have the right to do so, regarding the fact that they are an independent sovereign nation. Then, here we have a dilemma between international rights of Ukraine and security concerns of Russia. Actually, what US has shown before is that if there is a grave security concern for Washington anywhere around the world, they forget human rights or any other internationally recognized rights and prefer to act aggressively based on their national interests. John Mearsheimer recently brought an example for that. If, let's say, Canada, by any reason decides to bring Russian or Chinese military forces to the US border, for example, by joining the Shanghai Cooperation Organization or Collective Security Treaty Organization, how would White House react? Will they just accept it because Canada is a sovereign country? This is the contradiction between philosophy and reality, and unfortunately, reality always wins because politics is not beautiful nor desirable. From Russian perspective, if Ukraine joins NATO, this could be the final fatal blow to their security, because historically they have always been invaded from this direction, even during the Second World War. Russia has been denied a swift victory to stop this process and has forcibly redirected its priorities to separate some key cities and regions in the eastern and southern Ukraine and stop the process of joining NATO or EU for Kyiv, because as you know, a country with disputed borders can't join these blocs. If so, then Ukraine has to accept this new reality and new borders to be able to become a part of these Western blocs. And this is surprisingly what Western leaders have been approving in recent weeks. They have come to the conclusion that Russia would gradually get those regions it wants and they can't stop it, so they have changed targets. And you know what it means? The fact that for them, Ukraine has no value. They just want to keep their security upper hand against Russia using Ukrainian soil and sky. If not, they won't accept the collapse of this country. Therefore, the main loser of this game is obviously Ukraine and its people for not understanding and predicting grave consequences of this policy while they are living next door to a bear. I think for Russia, the Ukraine war is not a way to expand borders, but this is their reaction to the security issues they feel to have. And United States still keeps pressuring on this wound. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and write your opinion down in the comments.